Ho, ho, holy hell, it is Christmas time already. It is Monday, it is time for a 10-minute mailbag. I don't know where this intro is going. Welcome everybody back to the channel, kdjTV. Make sure you subscribe while you're here if you're not a subscriber. Otherwise, Santa, he's bringing you coal. And you know what that coal's gonna smell like? Poop. In the 10-minute mailbag every week, we answer your MLB The Show questions. Leave them in the comments, of course, if you'd like a chance to have your question answered in the upcoming edition of the mailbag. Which leads me to my next point. We are taking next week off from content outside of our weekly podcast on Tuesdays. I'm going to lay low, chill with the family, chill with my fiance. So the next 10-minute mailbag will be not next week, the week after next. See you in 2024. But until then, I've got your questions queued up for this week, so let's get right into them. Alright, as usual, we are putting 10 minutes on the clock. It's in the title. It's called the 10-minute mailbag, and we're going to begin. So in 3, 2, 1, we're starting. The first question today comes from Noob23895. Hello, good sir Noob. How are you? Who do you want to be the next cover athlete? A very simple question. In front of me, I have constructed a lineup of players I think who are most likely to be in the running for a future MLB The Show cover. From left to right, we have Juan Soto, Julio Rodriguez, and Ronald Acuna. In the infield, we have J-Ram, Corey Seager, Jose Altuve, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is behind my head. Catching is Adley Rutschman, and then Shohei Ohtani, even though he's already been on a cover. Shohei Ohtani. Your question is, who do I want to be on the next cover? And who I want to be on the next cover is, I think, this Ronald Acuna art, or something similar to it, would be a fire cover. It would look so cool and so nice, and we'd have a sick Ronald Acuna card right off the jump, theoretically, in MLB The Show 24. Now, if the question was, who do I think will be the next cover athlete? I think it's J-Ram. I'm probably about like 70% confident it's going to be J-Ram. I think a lot of people in the community are. J-Ram spent some time at SDS earlier this year. They didn't shy away from it. It wasn't a secret. They were taking pictures with him, doing videos, doing social media clips. He was signing a bunch of stuff. It could have just been that he's boys with someone over there and he wanted to come hang out. It could have been, maybe he loves the game and he wanted to stop by. It could be a variety of things, But J-Ram is an underappreciated superstar, somehow still. He's fun. He fits the vibe of what SDS might want to go for a cover athlete. And so I think it will be J-Ram. However, within the next 3 years, I think we will have covers of Acuna, J-Rod, and Adley Rutschman. I think we're going to have Adley on the cover of a game. It's been a while since we've put a catcher on the cover. Is Joe Mauer the last one? Joe Mauer might be the last catcher, unless I'm forgetting somebody. I'm probably speaking out of my ass. Regardless, I think Adley would be a super cool cover option. So that orange would pop. Just thinking visually. But I think this year it's going to be J-Ram. I'm fine with that. I know a lot of people pushed back on Jazz Chisholm being on the cover. I understand why they did. He, however, is fun and exciting, and I think that's why he was there. So that's fine with me. The cover, ultimately, guys, is just a picture. It really doesn't impact anything. It's not a big deal. There's no sense in complaining over it. Let's just say, oh, it looks cool, and move on. But I think it'll be J-Ram. I want it to be Acuna. So thank you for your question. Noob, I appreciate you. Moving on, the next question is from CJ. How can MLB The Show keep players invested in the upcoming dead period after they drop set 6? At that point, to be perfectly honest with you, I don't think it's on SDS. This is the end of the game cycle. Every sports game is like this. You could argue every normal game has a dead period too. It comes to a point where a game is just kind of it's run its course. So I talk about this a little bit in tomorrow's podcast episode, so it's a little bit of a teaser. I think set 6 is going to start out slow, and then by January and February, we're going to have people coming back to prepare for 24. I think set 6 is all about how you set your own expectations. It's up to you what you get out of the remaining of the year. I have goals I want to achieve. my sole purpose when playing this game is going to be achieve those goals. I need three more flawlesses to get 20. And I'd like to hit 1,000 rating for the first time in my life. So I'm going to try to do that during set 6 as well. Ultimately, set 6 for a lot of people is just going to be about getting better and staying fresh for 24. I don't think it's up to SDS. Now, SDS does have a couple more collections, or one more collection rather, coming up in January with the Finders Keepers. They are going to be dropping some cards here and there. I don't know what that collection card could be. I guess ultimately maybe that'd be enough to draw people back. I could actually see, this is not a hot take, but like, I don't know what the right thing to describe it as. Purely speculative. There is zero fact behind what I'm about to say. If you go to the calendar, January 19th is the Finders Keepers 7 in the shop and the final collection reward. I could see, maybe, they announce the MLB The Show 24 cover that week, and then the set, or whatever Finders Keepers 7 whatever collection is that cover card. That is speculative. That is zero fact, zero. This is me just thinking. If we look back at when Jazz Chisholm was put on the cover of the game, Jazz Chisholm, if I could spell, on MLB The Show 23 cover, that was revealed on January 30th. So we'd be a little ahead of the curve. We'd be about 2-ish weeks ahead of the curve if that were the case. But if Jose Ramirez has already been around and in the studio, like we just surmised, maybe it's not unreasonable. Maybe that collection card is the cover. Just a guess, that's what I'm thinking. Unless, like, that could be heat enough to get people back. I don't know, maybe. I just think ultimately set 6 is up to you. But CJ, thank you for your question. I appreciate you. Matthew, will the community ever allow power to not be the meta of the game? There was a lot more to that question, but just for the sake of brevity, I left it at that. I don't know if it's a community problem or if it's how SDS has programmed the game. I agree with you that the community does put a lot of stock in power, but that's just simply because power performs correctly. Like, power performs how power should. Contact does not perform how contact, in theory, should perform. So, if SDS creates a more balanced hitting meta, then yes. I mean, I just used Wade Boggs, Retro Finest, in a game. And yes, he's got a little bit of sneaky pop against righties. But I love cards like Wade Boggs. Spraying line drives all over the field, max contact. I would make a team. With guys like that, Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs, Lou Brock, I'd use them. I think overall, MLB The Show and SDS need to introduce more competitive balance in the lineup construction, where each player has some sort of role, make speed more meaningful outside of just, like, 5-tool fielding and base running. You know what I mean? Like, make speed like a weapon. Make stealing a weapon. I really don't want to encourage people to bunt, but, like, maybe there's a world in which bunting actually becomes, like, a tool. Not cheese, but, like, a tool. An actual tool. So, I don't know if it's a community issue. I know the community amplifies it by just maxing out their lineups with, like, power. I know where you're coming from, but ultimately I think it's an SDS problem, and I think SDS has the ability to fix it. I hope they do for 24. We have one more question on this fine Monday. From Dylan, do you think that MLB The Show should make the biggest stars more easily available? My favorite player is Cody Bellinger, and I'm a casual player, but I want to be able to use a decent version of my favorite players without completing all the team affinities. I hear where you're coming from. I do want you to keep in mind that Cody Bellinger, in theory, is very attainable. I know it's a grind, but it's entirely free. So it's not as if he's completely gatekept. Just using him as an example. But I do think SDS needs to come up with better ways for both offline and casual players to achieve the same rewards as ranked, and then vice versa. I think you should be able to play this game however you want to play this game, and have the ability to unlock every card just like another type of player can unlock. Whether that grind is longer or shorter, dependent upon the mode you're playing, that's a conversation for SDS to have and for SDS to figure out with help from the community. But I do believe every card should be attainable in some fashion. It doesn't have to be handed out. I think handouts, in some respect, in some of these, for some of these cards, is not okay. But for a card like Cody Bellinger, to use him as an example, he's already free as a Team Affinity card, as a Team Affinity collection card. So a card that's already free, I would be okay with giving more avenues to earn. A chase card, which I still don't know where I stand on chase cards, if I'm being honest, but like a card that is behind a stub wall kind of has to stay behind a stub wall. We just need more ways to acquire the pack to give us the chance to get the card. We can't be giving away those cards, but you could give away the packs and play the whole chance game again. It turns into the whole gambling and money situation. It's a weird place to be in. I'm not advocating for the position it's in. I'm just saying if it's going to exist, that's how we're going to do it. I'm okay with making some cards more available. I think others need to stay behind stub wall or achievement walls. But what you're talking about, like a Cody Bellinger free collection card, yes, I'm in for it. Give it to everybody in their own way. That'll do it for this 10-minute mailbag. Again, just a reminder, we're taking a 1-week break next week, celebrating the holidays in style. I appreciate you all for understanding. I'm assuming you will, because I love you, and you love me, and we're one big happy family. That's like what Barney the Dinosaur said. I grew up on Barney the Dinosaur because I'm a 90s child. All right, that's it. I'm rambling now. Love you guys. Happy holidays, whether you celebrated Hanukkah or Christmas or something else. I appreciate you, and I hope you enjoy the time spent with loved ones. See you guys later.